I have 2 books at my bedside, Lieutenant. The Marine Corps Code of Conduct and the King James Bible.
I hate snakes, Chuck! I hate them! And may the Christian Lord guide my hand against your Roman popery! And they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
We're on a mission from God.
Entitled, you want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Maybe we should chug on over to Mamby-Pamby land, where maybe we can find some self-confidence for you, you jackwagon!
Coming to you live from his padded cell high atop Bethel Church, the most heralded, the most despised talk show in all of human history. This is the talk show Hell Hates. This is Pastor Mike Online.
And here we are, coming to you live from our top secret broadcasting bunker here at Area 52. This is Pastor Mike, and I am the guy that hell hates, and he hates you too, if you are a believer in the Word of God. Good to be with you today. A lot of stuff going on in the world. NASA rover finds dinosaurs. Do what? Do what? You know, with Windows Stupid 11, you get this automatic. Oh, come on, get back up there. You get this automatic thing here. NASA rover finds dinosaur eggs hinting at life on Mars. Oh, come on. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. 7 plants you should never grow next to basil. Who cares? Fish crosses flooded road. Yeah, whatever. Parents of world's oldest baby. What? Beneath the lawn, a homeowner's backyard hides a secret cave. Ooh. Dinosaur tree produces seeds for the first time. It's almost like reading the Weekly World News or the National Ink Wire. Frozen for 34 million years, lost world found beneath Antarctica's ice. Whatever. I don't really care about that stuff. I got more important stuff to talk about, such as let's see here. How am I going to do this? We're going to put this up right here on the screen for you. A couple of really interesting videos came up in my feed from Instagram, and I'm going to show you one of them. Well, actually, I'm going to show you more than that. This one is going to be, let's see here. Where can I, there we go. This is called Metal Man, and yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't have a clue what that is. But if you were ever wondering what a Metal Man looks like, that is Utah. August 11th of this year. This is a replay of the video. That's weird looking. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you what it is. I don't even want to speculate what it is. But it is something. Now, how about I got something scary to show you. Hang on a second. This one is going to freak you out. This one I believe is real more than the middleman that we just saw. So let's cut to it. This was on an airplane, and somebody had a camera on for whatever reason. Okay, the man was recording an argument when he saw this. Pay attention to right here, right where my hand is. There is a face. This is a haunt, a spirit, a ghost. I would say a familiar spirit, an unclean spirit. These things, and again, my theory is that these cameras that are being made, there it is again in case you can't find it, right here, there it is. That's freaky looking. That looks like something dead, is what it looks like. So now, what else have I got to show you? Let's see here. Oh, I'm going to get to that one here in a minute. Now, this is a very, very good capture of a UFO. Very, very good capture. That to me looks like they are transporting something up into that triangle. That is what's known as a TR-3B, a Treb, maybe, I don't know. But there are several good videos of things that are similar to this. Back in about 2006, somewhere around in there, in western Illinois. In fact, it was towns that are right along the Mississippi River, just literally over on the other side of the river from where we are now. One of the local news stations, one of the Fox 2 affiliates, KTVI, did a half-hour series and aired it in the 6:30 to 7 o'clock time slot, which was right before one of the most popular times on TV, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. That's Central Time for everybody. But anyway, there was a massive one of these that was moving about western Illinois, right next to the Mississippi River, and there were several law enforcement agencies that were called out to go and see what people were calling in, and they're like, what do we do? The thing was absolutely huge. We're talking probably, as far as footage in probably in 100 feet long or better, made absolutely no sound whatsoever. It was just beyond bizarre. And like I say, that was around 2006, somewhere around in there. Anyway, now, how about, what else have I got? Let's see here. Oh, look, okay, I got one. Here's one for you. This guy here has got a blog going, and he notices something. You know what? Let me try to make this bigger. There we go. There we go. I can do that. Look at that. Look what I can do. I have superpowers. Nope, not that superpower. Not that one. This one. Let me try to zoom in on nope, that's not the one I want. I want this one right here. Well, I thought I had it zoomed in. Maybe you can see that there. Right up, yeah, right up there, right up here, right here. This guy's doing a blog, and he hears a noise, he catches, he takes a picture and zooms in the picture, and there is this face up there, upside down, in his daughter's bedroom, staring at him while he does this blog. That's absolutely crazy. These things that do I believe them? Most of them, yes, I do. Does the Bible support my belief in these entities? Yes, it does. Now, I've got an article for you. Here's what we'll do with this. We'll just bring this over, put it on the screen, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. For those of you who are wondering and worried that members of the Illuminati are listening in to your cell phones, to conversations that you have. I mean, you'll be talking to somebody, and all of a sudden you start talking about, the Illuminati, and what they can do, and how you've got information, and that and you're afraid because some of the things that you say are dangerous, and you're afraid that the Illuminati is listening in on you right now. I always tell people, ma'am, I say ma'am because I actually told a lady this one time. She had called, this has been several years ago, she had been called, and she said, man, I have a lot more to tell you, but I don't think I can tell you on the phone. And I asked her the obvious question, why? And she said, well, I think people are listening. And I told her, I said, ma'am, I hope they are. I said, Jesus told us, whatsoever things you hear in the ear, proclaim from the housetops. We don't have a mystery religion. We don't have secret doctrines. We don't hide what it is that we know. Now, as far as people thinking that there is an organization called the Illuminati that is listening in on their phone conversations And the fact that you say a word like bombing at Oklahoma City, and you're like, uh-oh, man, I know they're listening now. Because, I mean, I've got information on that, man, that could get me killed. Number one, when it comes to Bible Christianity, there is a passage, I'm in the book of Revelation here. They loved not their lives even unto death. And so, if something I say gets me killed, I will rejoice from here until eternity. I will. I mean, that's just how I see it. It's the, I'll just be dead honest with you. There are people out there who have so-called insider secrets of the Illuminati that I'm pretty sure have made these stories up. I'm pretty sure they have. And they always pretend like the Illuminati could take them out at any minute. There was a guy, and I don't know if I don't know if I should say everything. I might just tell everything I know. There was a guy named Fritz Springmeier. He had done some videos for the Prophecy Club back in the 90s. So I knew his name, and he had a video, and I think he had a book, and he said that Fritz claimed that he was a member of one of the 13 family occult bloodlines. Now, my thing is, I think he's lying. But I can't prove that he's lying about, what family he came from. But I'm pretty sure that some of the things he is putting out there as fact, I think some of it is nothing but a bunch of lies. There was, let's see here. I'm trying to remember names. There was another woman that was involved in these 13 family Illuminati bloodlines. I can't remember her name. But at the time that Fritz Springmeier was gaining popularity and notoriety, this other woman who happened to be in another one of these, Illuminati bloodlines, she was having an affair with Springmeier. And I talked with her on the phone. She admitted it to me. So what some people may or may not know is that Springmeier got involved with some anti-government people up in somewhere in Washington State, Oregon, somewhere around in there. There's a bunch of groups up there that are very anti-state, anti-government, you name it. They think that because George Bush was a Freemason and he was Skull and Bones, that because of that we don't have to obey any laws from this country, okay? But anyway, they needed money because they were going to take over the country. You know, you need money if you're going to take over the country. And Springmeier fell in with a group of guys that had a plan. They needed money so they could buy guns. And what they did was they planned an attack. They got some bomb-making material, and they bombed a bunch of porno shops in that town that they were in. That got all the police and all the firemen over there. I mean, they were all over there, you know. I don't know if they were trying to rescue the books and videos or whatever, but anyway, all the police and all the other people were there. And simultaneously, Springmeier and some guys, they were across town robbing a bank so they could have money, so they could have guns, because you need a lot of guns if you're going to take over the government. Well, they caught Springmeier, and they caught a bunch of other guys with him. And Springmeier cut a deal. So he's in prison. And what he's claiming now, just take a wild guess. Take a wild guess at what Springmeier was claiming was really going on. He was claiming that the Illuminati set him up. That's what happened. He didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. He was set up by the Illuminati because of what he knew. And they were going to tuck him away in a prison somewhere so he couldn't tell everybody what it was that he knew about the Illuminati. And so anyway, later on, I think Springmeier gets out. Springmeier gets sprung. And he writes a couple books after that, you know, about this and that, belonging to the Illuminati, and they're all, and, you know, it's all the New World Order, and it's all a cult, and this and that and the other. Now, I'm not speaking for or against one single thing that the man said. But there are other people who are involved and have been involved in these so-called Illuminati bloodline families. Now, what I'm going to relay to you is first-hand knowledge. It's not a rumor. It's not something that somebody told me happened. It's something that I saw with my own eyes. Okay? And I hadn't planned on talking about this. But there was a guy by the name of Doc Marquee. If you've watched some of the old Prophecy Club videos, you know that Doc made, I think, a couple of appearances on those programs. And one day I got a call from Doc Marquee. And he called, and this has been since I've started doing Watchmen broadcast and all these things. And he called to tell me that he really enjoyed the information that I was presenting. Wanted to know if I knew who he was. I told him, yeah, I've heard of you. And we had an okay conversation, but he said, I consider you my pastor, and on and on and on. I said, okay. Now, not too long after that is when the lady, boy, wish I could remember her name. there was, along with these men that were in these so-called Illuminati families, Fritz Springmeier, Doc Marquee, and so on, there was a couple of women. One woman by the name of Arizona Wilder. But apparently these aren't their real names. They don't use their real names for some reason. And then there was this other lady that had called me, and she said that she also has been watching, this is years back. This is back 2012, 2013, around in there, okay? So anyway, she really likes, our programs and things like that. And I said, well, I appreciate that. I really do. And she said, now there's something you need to know. And remember, this is the lady that supposedly had the affair with Fritz Springmeier. She told me that, she said, a lot of us who have been in these Illuminati bloodline families, we have DID. Now what that is dissociative identity disorder. DID is the new name for split personality. You remember the movie series Sybil? You remember that from like the 70s, okay? From who was the flying nun? But anyway, what I know about dissociative identity disorder, I know firsthand. We had a young lady in our church back in the late 90s, I think, that was in foster care. She was about 15 at the time. We found out later that she had been abused by her mother and by every man that her mother invited into their house. She had a brother. He also was abused. She had a sister. She was abused. She died of an overdose. And this young lady, we could tell when she would change over to different personalities. We could tell it. One of the things that I know about people who have DID is that usually there is a person inside them that is a really, really good liar. Could pass a test, lie detector. And so anyway, this lady who I'm talking to says that, that Fritz has it, she has it, Arizona has it, and Doc has it, multiple personalities. And she says that Doc, one of his personalities is a homosexual. And I said, well, okay, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. About a year or two later, we were doing a prophecy conference in Branson, Missouri. And we're setting up our table. It was kind of neat. I was really eating it up because we set up this big old long table and we had it stacked with our DVDs on there. I mean, we had hundreds of them on there. And everybody was at our table, and you had all these other speakers there, and they had their table, and they had one guy at their table, and they had about 4 or 5 DVDs, and they had a credit card machine. But everybody was at our table because we were giving them away. Okay? I took a picture of that, and I'm going, that's the way to do it right there. Doc shows up. And he talks to me a little bit, and we shake hands, and he's going to be speaking there and so on. And we walked by his table, and there was a guy there, probably couldn't have been 19 years old, something like that. And he introduced him to me. He said, "This guy travels with me." And I went, "Okay." I didn't make any accusations. I didn't make a big deal about it. Now, we're going to step forward a little bit. The person who set up this conference in Branson, the Prophecy Conference, set another one up for Dallas, Texas. And the one that we had in Branson, this goes back several years ago. Some of you may remember this. There was a speaker there, Rob Skiba. He has now passed on. He died of COVID, unfortunately. And Rob and I got to talking at this Branson conference, and we kind of figured out right then and there that we didn't really care much for each other. And it was over the Bible issue. 100% over the Bible issue. And so anyway, Rob and I kind of have words. Well, I had already been invited to this conference in Dallas. And they wanted to know what topics I was going to talk on. So I wrote down 3 different things. I think one of them was DNA and Freemasonry and, it's just things like that. And all of a sudden, Doc Marquee calls me. And he says, Pastor Hoggard, he says, "I just want you to know I love you to death. And I think the world of you. And oh, by the way," he said, "now you know that I love the King James Bible." Now, when he said that, I was like, where's this going? And he said, is that, going to be what you're going to talk about? And I said, "Doc, who told you to call me?" "Oh, nobody. Nobody told me to call." And I'm like, "Well, then, why is he calling me?" Because apparently he's not the one who set up the conference. "Why are you calling me and talking about this subject? Especially after you just said you love the King James. Why are you asking me now if I'm going to talk about the King James?" And he said, "Well, I'm just kind of, making sure you're going to stay on the topics you were talking about." And I'm like, somebody told him to call. So I said, "Doc, I tell you what, I'm going to speak on what I told you I was going to speak on. And as a natural part of what it is that I do, I'm going to say the word king and James in the same sentence." And I said, "Now, if this is going to be a problem, then you go back to whoever didn't tell you to call me and tell them that if they'll just reimburse me for the airplane tickets that I bought, that I won't even show up. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to start a fight somewhere." And I said, I'll just kick back here while you guys have your conference." "Oh no, that's not what this is about at all." And I just didn't believe a word of it. Now, jump forward to the conference. And we've got our table set up. And my wife went. We had Caleb with us, who was about 9 years old, something like that. And then my mother came along, and I was going to speak that afternoon, like at 2 o'clock. They decided they were going to go look around for places to go shopping. So I'm at our table, and Caleb's with me, and Doc walks in to where all the speakers have all their tables, with their merchandise and everything like that. Sees my son, grabs him from behind, sits down on the floor, and is holding him in his lap like this, and he says, "Oh, I just love children." Now, folks, I am telling you the God's honest truth. And I let that go about 10 seconds, and I said, "That's enough!" And Caleb got up and come over by me. I grabbed my phone, I called my wife, and I said, "Wherever you are, get back here now. I got to speak at 2 o'clock, and I'm not leaving Caleb here by himself. Get over here." And now, I'm saying this, Doc Marquee has died, and I am not his judge. But, man, Lord, why did I tell? I don't know why. What I can tell you is there's corruption everywhere. I guess I got to talking about the Illuminati. And these people that say that they are part of the Illuminati family and they know more about the Illuminati than any person in the entire world, and that's what makes them so dangerous. Why? One of them, the Illuminati's tried to kill him at least 10 times and has failed every single time. And folks, I don't trust that. I don't believe it. I feel bad for Jack Chick Publications. Now, I wouldn't hold anything against Chick Publications. I love the fact that God laid it on Jack Chick's heart years ago to start making little comics that end up being gospel tracts. I think it's a fantastic way to preach the gospel to people and to show them how much God loves them. Jack Chick, he's gone on to be with the Lord now. Chick Publications, the largest comic book manufacturer in the world. Okay? But Jack got pulled in by a guy, what was his name? If you've seen the comic book Spellbound, it's a full-size comic, then you know who I'm talking about. I'll think of the name probably in about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. But anyway, I don't trust anything that those people say. I don't. Because of the fact that I know, having had experience with people with dissociative identity disorder, I know that those people can lie very, very well. And now, one thing I do know about them is that they have been severely abused. And for that, these people, I don't hold anything against them as far as the things that they say, and things that, are in their past or whatever. These people who say that they are in the Illuminati and that they were in one gal One gal claimed that she was in Illuminati rituals with the Bush family, with the Queen of England, and all of these things. And I just automatically don't believe these stories. And just as a point of order or a point of doctrine, we don't need them. We don't need these stories to confirm to us what the Bible already tells us about spirits, their effect on human beings, whether they can or cannot be seen by people. That much is totally clear. They can be seen, and people can get really freaked out by them. Of that, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever. And they have an effect on people's minds. Now, having said all that, would you like to join, like to pin YouTube to your desk? No, I'd like to pin YouTube to a balloon. Anyway, let me put this on the screen. Let's see, it would be, there we go. This comes from basedundergroundsomething.com. AI-powered radar can now spy on your phone calls from 10 feet away. A team of Penn State computer scientists has cooked up a chilling new way to eavesdrop. Detecting the microscope vibrations your smartphone gives off during a call and translating them into words using artificial intelligence. We knew it was coming. The method relies on millimeter wave radar, the same high-frequency tech powering self-driving car sensors, motion detectors, and 5G networks. Aim it at a phone and it can capture the subtle tremors from the earpiece when someone is speaking. These vibrations are invisible to the naked eye. Well, then they should put some clothes on their eyes then. Maybe then they would be able to see them. Invisible to the naked eye, but with the right tools can become a transcript of your conversation. The radar data is, here it is. The radar data is run through a modified version of Whisper. Now, people of the earth, did we not just learn? Let's see here. Come on, you can do it, computer. Did we not just learn from our Bibles that familiar spirits speak in whispers? Put that up, make it right. There we go. Word of the Lord. Whisper. Yeah. And thou shalt be brought down and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as of one that hath a familiar spirit out of the ground, and thy speech shall whisper out of the dust, like one that hath a familiar spirit. So to me, maybe somebody in the Illuminati already knew this. And I'm just catching up to it. But you see, I would just, you're seeing evidence here, people. And I've got doodads up and down my back now. Because, you know, I've never told that story before publicly. Ever. I've told it privately to some people. But it just goes to show you, and I hadn't planned this, it goes to show you that our Bibles are so right. They have everything we need to know about what's going to happen in the end times. Everything we need to know. So here, familiar spirits whisper. You want to recognize a familiar spirit? Listen to what it says. So here they have a artificial intelligence model that does speech recognition, and it's called Whisper. Man, I love my Bible. That's all I can say. I love my Bible. An AI speech recognition model originally designed for clean audio. Instead of retraining the whole system, the team used a low-rank adaptation trick to tweak just 1% of the model's parameters, enough to boost performance without starting from scratch. The result, roughly 60% accuracy on continuous speech from up to 10 feet away, covering a vocabulary of about 10,000 words. It's not perfect, but it's plenty to grab key phrases, names, numbers, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up words and phrases and clauses. That's from Schoolhouse Rock from the 70s. If you grew up in the 70s and watched cartoons on Saturday, you learned the preamble of the Constitution, didn't you? We the people. Anyway, or numbers that could be pieced together to expose private information. So, you're having a conversation, and now this I believe, somebody working, let's say for some kind of covert military operation without a warrant, because this could be considered a public conversation without the expectation of privacy. Maybe. The article says, when we talk on a cell phone, we tend to ignore the vibrations that come through the earpiece and cause the whole phone to vibrate. The project's lead researcher and doctoral candidate in computer science, adding, if we capture these vibrations using remote radars and bring in machine learning, we can determine the whole conversations. This is an evolution of a 2022 project where the same team could identify 10 preset words with 83% accuracy. Now they've moved into the far more complex world of live speech. Look at there. So it listens in to your conversation from 10 feet away and can pick up the words that not only you say, but that the other person on the other end of the line on the other end of the airwave, they could pick up on their words as well by gauging the vibration of the phone. It's just I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Okay. What else was I going to do today after I got done with that? Oh yeah. Let's do this. I haven't talked about this number in a while. And I will say that since I wrote by divine order and the King James Code, I haven't changed what I believe the meaning is. I've added to the meaning. So I would have said back a few years ago that the meaning of the number 12 is the number for promise. Because, let's do this. If we go to the 12th chapter of the book of Genesis, and we go to chapter 12, what do we find? Now the Lord had said to Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house into a land that I will shew thee, and I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. And so I, took that and said that was God's blessing promise to Abram and to Sarai and so on. And I'm not wrong, okay? I was just a little, I would say short-sighted, and that's only because between where I am right now and where the promise is, well, that's about 9 dimensions away from where I am right now. I'm in a 3-dimensional world. And I think I agree with physicists who say that they believe that there can be as many as 12 dimensions. Now, just thinking, you've heard me talk about the 4th dimension. Just thinking about that one is enough to just blow your mind. So what would be the 5th dimension be? It would be higher than the 4th one. And then the 6th one. And then 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th. And finally the 12th one. Oh my goodness. Talking about way up there. That's way up there. But anyway, so let's look at this. Yeah, we go. Now, check this out. You'll see what I'm saying here in a minute. God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay? So I would look at that and I would say that is, 4 dimensions. Because all of these deal with time. And time and the 4th dimension are one and the same. But notice that where it says for signs, for seasons, for days, and for years, you have the greater light to rule over the day, the lesser light to rule over the night. If the greater light rules over the day, how many hours is that? Say 12. Okay? And if the lesser light rules over the night, how many hours is that? 12. Okay? And that's what he says. God made two great lights. The greater light to rule over the day, 12 hours. The lesser light to rule the night, 12 hours. He made the stars also. Well, every month there is a new set of stars that is right over our head. Let's say you face east on the same day every month. You look up, there is a new set of stars directly overhead. Okay? And it does that exactly the same way all throughout the entire year. So that would mean that there would be 12 seasons, and well, I'm saying this wrong. There would be 12 constellations. The word con means with. Stella is the stars. So 12 groups of stars once for every month that goes by. And when you get around to where you started last year, you look up and you see that it starts all over again with constellation number 1. Now, I'm not using the word zodiac because I don't like that term. I am using constellation because that is a better term. It's a more scientific term, and it's very accurate. I'm looking at a group of stars that this exact same time, looking in this direction last year, I saw the exact same stars. Okay? And then he said, and he made, made the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also, 12 groups, one for each month, 12 months in the year. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth and to rule over the day and over the night and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was, how was it? Was it bad? Was it okay? No, it was good. And that's because God made it. I love it when God makes stuff. Amen. He does a good job. So, think about these stars in relation to the children of Israel. Okay? Think about them for a minute. Oh, I went too far. There we go. Yeah, I did. All right. So, the word star 15 times, including the first occurrence in Numbers 24. 24 is 12 times. We get that. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. So we can see how this promise is still there. That promise is a thing that God is going to keep. God does not break his promises to man. Amen. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob. That's a capital S, isn't it? And a scepter actually, shall rise out of Israel and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheth. So we have stars 51 times, plus the 15 times the word star is there, and we get 66. Each book being a star that shines light upon the dark paths of our soul, the dark paths of our life. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. I will hide its words in my heart. You know, there was something I was going to say Sunday night, and I don't, where was that? Lord, help me find that. Where received it? Lamp. And it had something to do, let's see, it had a word here. SALVATION. No, you can't get to heaven. Oh, I got to change this here. Same verse. Oh, looky there, Isaiah 62. For Zion's sake will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. So lamp, 66 times the word star or stars is used, meaning that every word of God is pure. Every word of God is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And that lamp is a symbol of salvation. So if we go to Matthew and we go to chapter 25, remember that story? The kingdom of heaven shall be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Now let me ask you a question. It's a simple question. If you have a lamp, which we have found out now is salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. God making it very, very clear in Isaiah 62 that the lamp that burns is salvation. The lamp that doesn't burn, no salvation. And what's a shame here is that you got whole churches, whole denominations, to where they have Bibles, but they are ornaments, decorations. They look good on the communion table. They look good in some family's home because they want everybody to think they're Christian. But the truth of it is, they don't read their Bible. They don't read it. They don't believe it. So to them, it's a lamp without any oil. And the people who bear these lamps, on the day when it is absolutely, totally too late, they go to the people whose lamps are lit and they say, "Can't you give us a little bit of oil?" And according to the parable, they say, "Well, no, we can't do that. If we did that, there wouldn't be enough oil for our lamps. And our lamps would go out. We can't do this." Now, some people might think, "Well, that's mean. They should be." No. God is not a socialist. He's not. God gives everybody in the world an equal opportunity to know the gospel. You don't believe that? I do, because I just said it. In Romans chapter 1, it plainly says, well, let's see here. Verse 18 of Romans 1, "For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth in unrighteousness. Because that which may be known of God is manifest in them, for God hath shewed it unto them." There is, and I can't explain it, but I believe at some point God opens every man's eyes, even if it's just for a moment, to the possibility of salvation. And it says, "For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse." You know, the people that, and you know, I've thought about this for a while. All of those people in China, all of those people in those Muslim countries and things like that, where, I mean, you're not going to find a Christian church anywhere around there. That's very clear. Well, what about them? They never heard the gospel. How come, are you saying they got to go to hell too? No, I'm not saying that. God is saying it. So, I guess I am saying it if God's saying it. To me, it's just very, very clear. At some point, God opens their eyes and reveals to them the truth of the gospel. But they reject it. They reject it, and once that happens, they go running to the Christians and saying, "Give us of your oil. Give us of your oil." And they go like, "We can't. If we poured out to you now what we have, we wouldn't have enough for ourselves. So maybe you've got time to go and buy for yourself." Now, was that cruel of them? No, it's reality. It's just plain Jane reality. Back to Matthew 25, where he says, verse 5, "While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise," You're going to give us some of your wine? Or your wine. That's probably their problem. Hey, you want to give us a little bit of wine? You going to give us some of your oil? What do you mean? Well, I mean, you've got plenty. I mean, your lamp's all lit and bright and everything. Obviously, you've got more than what you need. Give us some of yours. No, I can't do that. I know exactly how much I put in here, and I know exactly how long it's going to last. It's not going to last very long. Well, if you don't give us of your oil, I mean, what's going to happen to us? Huh? Don't you care about that? And they, well, yeah, I do. But I can't give you mine. Because then if I did, neither one of us would have enough. And see, folks, that is socialism. That's communism. Learn a lesson from the Bible. Is that it seeks to raid and steal everything from those who have and give it to those who have not, because they do not, or they don't. And it doesn't work. And it won't work. And you know what? Here's what's funny, is that all these liberal Democrat cities in this country, their occupants are waking up because the government has been treating them well over the past 30 years. Some of those people haven't had a job and don't ever go looking for a job because they make more money not doing nothing. I know it's a double negative, but leave me alone. They make more money not doing nothing than they would if they went out and got a job. So why go get a job? But then now they let all these illegals come in and they're taking over all of the services. And so the people that have been living on the government dole all this time are going, hey, you're giving away all of our stuff. That's not very fair. And they're not happy about it. That's the whole, people, that's the trap. Socialism and communism is a satanic government. It is a satanic, evil government. That's what it is. Anyway, how did I've chased so many rabbits down so many rabbit holes, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But anyway, verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And yeah, there it is right there. And anyway, where would I be going with all this? Oh, the lamp right here. Salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. It's clear that these 5 with no oil, it's very clear to me that they have no salvation. There is no lamp, no lit lamp, no salvation. So, brothers and sisters, so let your light shine before men. Okay? Let the world see Jesus in everything that you do. Okay? while there's still time, if you see somebody along the way that needs salvation, show them where they can get all the oil for their lamp that they need. You just might be leading someone very, very special to you to the Lord. Okay? I love you. I have so much fun in the Bible. More fun than us humans should ever be allowed. But it sure does feel good, doesn't it? All right, I love you. Hey, how about joining us for service tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Central Time? Be there.